I'm just wanting to reach out today and connect with you all on self-love. This is a massive, massive journey for me. So I thought that I might share a little bit of me with you. I have some really beautiful oils here that have been supporting me, and a blend that I've been using for myself every day and giving myself some beautiful affirmations with is the rose, our pure rose oil, which is the oil of the unconditional heart, connecting us with divine love, divine union, and divine creation. This one is so precious to me. It reminds me of Mother Mary, who I always had really close to me from when I was a little girl. So this is really precious. If you don't have the rose oil, it's okay. Use the Whisper or the Console. They both have rose in them, yeah? For those that are lucky enough to have rose, she's gorgeous. She's a beautiful creatrix to help you bring you back to wholeness. Hi, Laura Lee. Rose is gorgeous to massage over the heart center, so the upper heart chakra. We often use this middle heart chakra here, it's that beautiful fickle heart, what I call the fickle heart. This is where we take everything on board, we take things personally, we feel a little bit shattered, and that's that expression, I feel so brokenhearted. So when we connect these two hearts with rose oil, and just imagine, see or sense in the way that you do, however it is powerful for you. Imagine this beautiful golden bridge of love connecting the two of them. And Ariel and I often do a rainbow bridge of love between her and I. That's something really precious with your kids or your beloved as well. And rose oil just really helps to fuse that, really helps to solidify that and bring that together quite powerfully and strongly. What I've been doing is I've been combining her in the FCO, the fractionated coconut oil, use any carrier oil you like, with Hawaiian sandalwood, frankincense, because of course Frankie Boy has to come in, helichrysum, cedarwood, lavender, and arbor vitae. Because what I've found happening is there's been something that's happened in my life, and this year's been really challenging for me, and this is around the anniversary time of it. It's been challenging emotionally, and for me to be able to feel into who I really am and come into my wholeness without taking other people's projections or stuff on board, and even what they're saying maybe to me or against me in some way, not taking that so much as a personal attack, but taking that as a gift. So seeing the challenges as the gifts that they are to help us to be strong and help us to grow. It's challenging because I'm still just human like everyone else. So it's been a year of challenge in the way of, sleep and or lack thereof, I should say, until the Serenity capsules came along. And what happened this month was it's like my body went into cellular memory. So I kind of recreated this rash on my upper legs and my arms. And my body was reminding me of, hi, sweetheart, this is something we haven't completed on. Are we ready to complete and release this now? And of course, the universe, being as gracious as it is, reignited a similar scenario. And when that, so it came in the form of a message, right? Literally a Facebook message. And when I read that, I felt my whole body go, here we are again, and it went into total contraction. And of course I can laugh now because it's healing, but I wasn't laughing then. I was crying and really upset and, reacting rather than responding. So I read this beautiful book that Tracy Stoves loaned to me, and it's called The Dalai Lama's Cat. And it reminded me of those beautiful Buddhist principles that I've loved so much all my life, of compassion, of love, of honesty, and of mindfulness. So of being really mindful and coming back into mindfulness in every moment and the gifts that each moment brings. Yeah, hey Kerry. So thanks, B. Yes, that's why I thought I'll do this post, because I know I'm definitely not alone. I know that there's a lot of people going through this, so I'm sharing in a really raw way with you all. So as I'm reading this book and I'm reminded of these Buddhist principles, what I was doing was I was applying those oils that I just mentioned to you, those 7 really powerful oils, in the fractionated coconut oil and rubbing it over my body. Now, it's really in your face when you've got massive skin eruptions, right? And yeah, we can hide them in clothes, but we can't really hide them from ourselves, can we? So I'm rubbing them, I'm massaging them, and I'm saying, I love you, I thank you for the gift. And, just loving the people that have brought these challenges to me and coming back into loving me and not beating myself up so much. And the projections that I put on myself of how I should be, and you know, little comments like, you know, you should have this sorted by now. Seriously, you're 42, you're coming into the prime of your life, you've been personal developing all your life, and you know better. So what I thought was, hang on a minute, it's such self-judgment and self-reclamation. And when I drop into my heart space, what I'm really feeling is this deep sadness. And the sadness, and I'm hearing other people with similar things, the sadness for me comes around, you're not enough. You're just not enough. No matter how much you give, you're never going to be enough. So that's that voice going on. And then that same voice says, you're fat, you're ugly, you're this, you're that, and all of that real get out the cat of nine tails and whip, 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 whip. You know those voices. So I get out the rose oil and I breathe her in. And I just give myself a moment to forgive myself for all of that. Because no one can do anything to us, really. That's the ego. That's the stuff of the ego, right? So if no one can do anything to us, then that means everything that comes to us comes as a gift. Are you hearing this? Yeah? Can you relate to this? But sometimes it's hard to unwrap that gift, because when we go into contraction, there's this paralysis that occurs and it stops us moving forward. So this morning's blend was born. Let me share this one with you. I have cypress, grapefruit, geranium, and beloved rose. I also put some melissa and frankincense, so frankincense under my tongue and melissa on the roof of my mouth, to really help recreate for me the truth of who I am, to remind me that I am a creator, and to return to my natural state as creator and my soul intended, to release with the melissa this heaviness that's weighing upon me at this time. So I just placed the cypress, grapefruit, rose, and geranium in fractionated coconut oil and put it in my beautiful Wild Oils aromatic dressing bowl. You all have your favorites, right? And I literally just rubbed it on my body, telling every single scrap of my body why I love it. And then I looked in the mirror and I said, I love you. I love you, I love you, I love you exactly as you are. And I had a little bit of a banter with myself and a play, you know. I'm not going to go back to the gym and be hardcore in the gym and get that six-pack I once had and those abs and those incredible muscles and the cut back and blah, 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 blah. You know, because back then, even when I had all that, I was still picking on myself. I was still saying I was fat and revolting and disgusting and blah, 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 blah. So I'm just reading Tracy's. Okay. So I am feeling that no matter where we are in our lives, no matter how we look in our lives, we just need to come back to seeing our light. And when we get back to that light, that divine spark within us, we actually just accept us for who we are. Now, I'm not there yet. I'm not even going to pretend to be there yet, but I'm calling on these oils to help. So, cypress. This oil helps to just go and pull out all of that muck and crap. So in this case, that negative chatter that I'm buying into day in, day out, and have done for a long, long time, way too long, right? Cypress helps to, at a physical level, drain out fluid, excess fluid, right? So if you look at, we are composed mostly of water, right? Now, the water within us responds to whatever vibration we're buzzing with. So I've been vibrating with or buzzing around with, you're too fat, you're ugly, you're not good enough, you've got this rash, and oh my God, you're going on a cruise with the family and a family holiday, and you're going to have all this, and oh my God, forget getting into bathers, and boo, right? So I'm using cypress to help drain that out, just to suck it away, rather than me being so drained by it all constantly, yeah? And then I'm using grapefruit, and she's a really good reminder for me to just go, come on, sister, come on, really? Are you really going to go there, or are you going to come dance with me now? And when I work with grapefruit, I just feel my body open and expand, right? Because she very quickly helps me to love me again. So I combine this beautiful cypress and grapefruit together, and I've got this action of the yuckiness getting pulled out, sucked out by the cypress, and the grapefruit coming in and just kissing it all over, you know, just going, baby, together we've got it, you know. This too, interestingly enough, along with like a lime or lemon you could use, or even wild orange, are a really good cellulite blend, right? So if you think about cellulite, it's these, you know, fat deposits, and we store so many toxins in the fat, right? That's why when I teach food classes, I'm like, oh my goodness, if you ain't eating organic or biodynamic meats and byproducts, you're sucking in a lot of those toxins that are stored in the fat, right? So it's not just because I'm not into eating dead animal. There's a lot of stuff in that. So let's look at our beautiful sacred temple. So we're holding toxicity in different areas in our body. Okay, so in our body, it manifests as things like cellulite, as headaches, maybe really full-on head tension. We manifest it in this skin rash type thing that I was talking about with you, or maybe breakouts on the face some people get, heaviness and darkness around the eyes, a white film over the tongue. For women, candida is a huge thing, you know, manifesting as thrush, or, you know, we get all these different things, right? The other way it can manifest, though, is we fall. We fall over, we bruise ourselves, we cut ourselves open, it becomes infected, because the body's festering with it and holding on to that hum, that vibration that we're singing at. So let grapefruit come in and help us create a new melody, a new song, you know, let it be a bit boppy and bippy and, you know, bassy. Maybe it's all about that bass for some of you. You know, I know for a long time we all kind of got into that. Maybe we all just need to play that again and totally shake our tushes, you know, and totally love ourselves, and, you know, just remind ourselves that this too shall pass and we're okay, right? That's why I ingest frankincense every day. And then geranium. Geranium's a really beautiful one to work with. She is great for the skin, so she's giving me the skin support I need right now, along with the rose and the other oils I mentioned earlier. But geranium's amazing for grief and self-hatred as well, right? Which also leads to anger. She's great at helping to dissolve anger, right? So when I work with geranium, and she's a really interesting one because I'm loving her right now, but I don't always love geranium. I usually love her when I'm ovulating, sometime during my moon bleed, so that's right now. And I use her to help support me hormonally as well. But really right now, while I'm using her for hormonal support, I'm really using her to come back into my heart support, right? To help dissolve that anger I feel toward myself, right? Because the longer I hold on to this anger for myself, and this self-hate, and this putting myself down, and I'm too fat, and I'm not glorious enough, and all of that, the more I do that, it's the worst thing I can do, because I'm holding my sisters back, who I love so much, and this next generation of kids who I love so much. And I really don't want to do that. I don't want to leave this legacy behind of, you know, this yuckiness, this holding in my body that I'm not enough. And as I say, I'm not enough, then I'm saying everyone else isn't as well, because we're all one. And we're all created from that same beautiful divine spark. So I just want to say I'm so sorry for holding on for so long to all of this self-reclamation and self-hate and self-despising, and that I'm committed to returning home to love for me, not just for all of humanity as a whole, but for me as well, so that, you know, together we can all thrive and we can get stronger in our sisterhood together. Because if we are created in God's image, or goddess's image, whatever word you like to use, spirit, source, if we're created in God's image, that means we are perfection. And that means we have a duty to that part in us, that divine spark within us all, to shine so brightly, right? Because God isn't something separate to us. We are God. We are this beautiful, magnificent divine spark, and we see it in our children and when our babies are first born, and we don't see it in us. So I just want to say that for those of you with Rose, You know, work with her, help her to come into your life. And like I said, if you don't have the rose, get yourself some console or some whisper and apply her over your heart and over your wrists. And I've been using those a lot as well. I've noticed I haven't been working with Rose as much this year, and it's probably been the year where I've needed her the most. So she's coming back, and I'm bringing her back in. A beautiful image that you can create for yourself when working with Rose is to imagine that gorgeous sacred feminine, because that's what we're bringing back working with Rose. And you can see, if you're really visual, you can see that beautiful image of Mother Mary and the Sacred Heart, Kuan Yin, Isis. They're the three manifestations of the One. So whatever resonates with you, you can use. Or maybe you just want to see a big heart with wings or a light. But the color of the unconditional heart is actually a soft rose pink or a turquoise. That's why the Native Americans wear the turquoise over their heart center a lot. So this is the center just here that I'm talking about, right? So you can just massage and just give yourself some beautiful, beautiful, beautiful self-love. And something that's really gorgeous is, imagine before you this child that you love is sitting before you, and the child is you. And I love you too, Anna and Kerry. Thank you. Imagine that child before you and tell her all of the wonderful things about her. Just imagine that she says to you, Mama, I'm not enough. I'm not good enough. I'm ugly. I'm fat. And all of the things you tell yourself. Imagine her doing that, and just let her sit before you and let her have a big vomit and say all those things. And then you come back and you're looking at yourself in the mirror now, and you come back and you tell her why you love her so much. Tell her why she's so glorious. Tell her how loved she is and what an amazing manifester and creatrix she is. And for the men folk, exactly the same. Tell him why you love him so much, that little boy within you. And as you look at yourself in the mirror, tell yourself why you're so wonderful. This is such an apt exercise for men and women. And when I say Rose is the sacred feminine, I don't mean she's not for men. She definitely is. It's like we need the rose and the jasmines and the frankincenses and Hawaiian sandalwoods and all of the myrrh, spikenard. Now we have that gorgeous holy sacred oil as well. Work with them to create in mindfulness this really powerful collaboration. Mindfulness, to me, I'm certainly not a Buddhist, and I'd love to have the Dalai Lama, you know, right there with me all the time to remind me of the amazing things he teaches. Mindfulness, I'm going to simplify it for myself right now because I'm feeling overwhelmed with life. So what I'm going to commit to with mindfulness right now is to have awareness of my thoughts again, to be in the moment again, to breathe deeply in the moment. A chant that I'm chanting constantly at the moment to put myself to sleep at night, after meditation, as soon as I wake up, during the night if I wake up, and every time throughout the day is Om Mani Padme Om. And it's a beautiful Tibetan chant that I learned many, many, many moons ago that I love and I always come back to. And the translation that I know for this is I am the jewel in the lotus. So you can create a beautiful heart mudra for yourself as you do this, which is taking your hands, your wrists together, and your thumbs kiss and your little baby fingers kiss, and you hold that over your unconditional heart. So if you want to join me, maybe we can do it together. So we just take deep breath and release. And there's different ways to chant this. You can kind of sing it, or you can do it faster like the Kyoto monks. So I'll show you a couple of ways. So you just breathe in. Om Mani Padme Om, 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 Om Mani Padme Om. And you just keep chanting it and go over and over and over and do it for 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes, an hour. It really helps to shift the vibrations. So coming back to what I said earlier, thanks Tara, what I said earlier was we're made up mostly of water. So whatever we're buying into in our mind, those thoughts that are going on, and that's around us, it's going to alter the movement of that water within us. So on Christmas Eve, we went down to the beach and the tide was all the way up and it was moving in all different directions and totally wiping us out, and it was heaps of fun. But let's take that analogy into our body. The tide is high, right? It's up around our heart center. It's moving in all these different directions. Our tummy feels like it's churning. Our mind feels like there's way too much pressure in it, our head space, yeah, as the mind churns. So what we can do is we can come into a chant like that Om Mani Padme Om, to come back to I am the jewel in the lotus. I am the jewel in the lotus. And as you're chanting Om Mani Padme Om, Om Mani Padme Om, Om Mani Padme Om, you're shifting very quickly the vibration. And that brings us into mindfulness, certainly brings me into it, because there are no other thoughts when I'm chanting that chant. So anytime I'm finding myself moving away from myself, which is a lot at the moment, as I shared, I'm just going to keep coming back to and really commit to coming back to Om Mani Padme Om, because I love you all too much to just keep putting myself down and hating all over myself the way I have been. I love you way too much to hold back your own growth and your own development. And I know that we're all responsible for our own growth and our own development. And I also know that we're all one. So as we tread this path of self-love, self-actualization, self-realization, the realizations occur when we are mindful, when we're present, when we allow ourselves to grow, to bust out of that shell that we've had ourselves contained in for so long. So that brings me back to that gorgeous blend that, you know, that I held up for you all before, which was the cypress, geranium, rose and grapefruit, yeah, diluted in the fractionated coconut oil and aromatically dressing all over. If you have any questions, ask now. I can open it up to some questions now if you like. But thank you all so much for joining me. May we all return to love. Oh, I did say I was going to show you a couple of different versions. So that's one version of Om Mani Padme Om. I'm not a singer. I don't have a beautiful voice. So bear with me for a minute. But this is another way you can do it. So you can just Om Mani Padme Om. Om Mani Padme Om. So you can chant it over more sing-songy like that. Or Om Mani Padme Om, 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 Om Mani Padme Om. Om Mani Padme Om, Om Mani Padme Om, Om Mani Padme Om, Om Mani Padme Om. And then I'll usually end with 3 Oms. So there's some really beautiful chants, and you can look at Diva Pramal. Thank you, Sam. You can look at Diva Pramal. She has some beautiful chants. The Kyoto monks, there are some beautiful recordings you can download in their deep, beautiful guttural voices going, Om Mani Padme Om. It's really deep and really yummy, and I love it. I love chanting that style as well. And I really recommend looking at and getting for yourselves the Dalai Lama's Cat. It is amazing. It's a gorgeous novel with so many truths in it, and brings us back to these beautiful Buddhist truths that, you know, compassion, mindfulness, self-actualization, what it actually really is. So I'm looking forward to reading the next lot. What I'll do is maybe I'll post a picture of the book so you can see the author as well. Okay, my darlings, are there any questions or anything you'd like to ask? Thank you, Sammy B. I love you too, honey. If there's anything you want to ask while you're working out, if there's questions, one thing, yes, I can put a link up of the people I just mentioned, no problem. So one thing I was going to, thanks Lila, was to add was another way to self-love is actually with the ice blue rub. I know it sounds crazy, but it's really good because, like I said, when we can go into that contraction of self, you know, anger and hating all over ourselves and all of that, we create a lot of tension in our body. So take the ice blue rub and just literally, I just lift the cap and I love you, I love you, I love you. Let's make magic together, and just take, you know, half a pea amount if it's just a tiny area, or a pea size amount on a bigger area, and just rub that lower back or the shoulder. See how I keep going here? Because that's where I've manifested tension now. So I'm just like, I love you, I love you, I love you. Let's come back to wholeness. Yeah, so give yourselves yummy yummy languaging. All right, angels, I love you all so much. Thanks for all your beautiful comments. I really hold you in my hearts, and I pray that all of us, men and women, stop doing the crazy human doing thing and come back into being human beings, and we come back into our heart centers, and we just remember to love all over ourselves again, because the more we love us, the more we can love each other, and the more that we help others to stand in their light and to love themselves all over again. So, I love you. Feel free to put any questions in the comments below or to PM me. Don't have any problem with that at all. And that blend again, for those that came on late, was cypress and grapefruit combined with geranium and our beautiful pure rose. And if you don't have rose, use whisper or console and mix it all up in the fractionated coconut oil. Put it in your favorite aromatic dressing bowl. And remember, with aromatic dressing, we're going to dip and rub and bend and rub-a-dub-dub and rub it all over our bodies and give ourselves beautiful, beautiful messages. And when you come back to the heart, there's some really powerful affirmations that serve you to empower you to love yourselves again. I love you so much, beautiful sisters and brothers. Thank you all for joining me. Thank you for trusting me and for enabling me to come back to love with you all and to be this raw and this real with you. Bye, guys.